Hey guys, Mike from Antler Assassins TV. We're building some arrows today. I wanted to go through that with you a little bit. I've gotten some questions on right helical versus left helical, how to choose which you're going to use, and how to actually fletch your own arrows, which will save you a lot of money in the long run. Rather than taking them to a pro shop and paying somebody to do it, you can do it in the comfort of your own home, and you can do it pretty quick. You know, after repetition, you could probably get an arrow done in a minute or so. So I'm going to show you that, take you through it a little bit. These are the arrows that I hunted with this season. Every single one of these has been beat pretty good, but they're still straight. We've spin tested them. They look good. We did peel the old blazer vanes off, and we're going to be going with the Max Hunter, AAEM Max Hunter vanes. These ones are actually from NOCK Archery, and we're going to be going with a NOCK Archery arrow wrap. Give us a nice clean surface. Cleaned up these ends quite a bit, got them nice and smooth, but we're going to start with a nice fresh surface with the wraps, and we'll take you through that and show you how that's done. Alright, so I've already done one here just to give you a look at what the after product is once you get the wrap on there. Very easy to do. You just have to make sure everything's lined up correctly before you do it, but I'm going to show you how to do that real easy. One, you want to make sure that your arrow shaft, where your fletchings are going to go, your vanes, is clean and oil free. You can take a paper towel, wipe it down real good. I try not to use water just because water can get in around the knock, the throat of the knock, and leak out. But what you want to do, make sure your hands are nice and clean. We've washed our hands. We have our arrow wraps. And what I did is I took a mouse pad. NockonArchery.com has a wrap pad that's pretty cool, but this is pretty much a simulation of that. It's just a flat mouse pad. I have one here and one here, same level across, and I've made a straight edge. Using a straight edge I've marked out with a pen. So we're just going to take a razor blade and lift the corner of that wrap. And we're going to lift it right off of there, like so. Again, you don't want to do this if your hands are dirty or oily. And we're going to set it down here. And we're going to line it up with that straight edge. Okay. And maybe a hair more. Alright, so get that out of the way. Now you want to take your arrow and you want to line it up right with the edge of the knock throat on the rear. Make sure you don't have anything in the way, and make sure you're straight across the edge of the arrow. And once we are, I'm going to take a slow roll just to catch the fletch, or just to catch the wrap. And once we are stuck, roll. Just roll it. And there we are. There's a perfectly wrapped arrow. Number 2 is done, and this arrow is ready to fletch. Okay, so our wraps are done. Now we're going to set up our fletching jig. You have your clamp, which is going to hold your vanes. What we're going to do, you want to be about 1 1/8" the shaft. So we're going to set that in like so. And I'll give you guys a little bit of a close-up while we're doing this, but you also want to take, you can use a AAE primer pin or Easton primer pin to prime and clean the edge of the vanes that's going to sit on our new wraps. I'm actually just going to use a small alcohol swab. That seems to work good for me. I've not had any issues with it lifting or anything, and it adheres quick. So let me get the alcohol prep and we'll get a close up and show you how we fletch this first arrow. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is actually clamp a couple of them in there. Now I have this large style Q-tip with a bit of primer on there, and we're just gonna give that a nice wipe down, make sure it's nice and clean. Usually do 3 at a time, that way you can pick them up and go, and your arrow's ready to rock. Drop those. And we'll do one more. Back to the question on left versus right helical. Basically, what I do, and let me go through that real quick, is I will bare shaft shoot these at a target. I'll take a pin, usually a silver pin so I can see it, and I'll mark the top of the arrow. Now I'll shoot it at maybe 3 or 4 yards at best, and once you shoot it, walk up to the target and you'll see whether the line has moved left, right, or left will determine whether you want to use a left or right helical. In this case, these arrows turned right, so we're going to use a right helical, and that's pretty much how you decipher on which one to use. So give these a little bit of a wipe down. Now you can do these a lot faster than what you're probably watching on this video, but I'm trying to slow down a little bit for you guys so you can actually see the process. But realistically, as I said, after some repetition, you can finish an arrow in about a minute. So you have 6 arrows, you know, 6 to 10 minutes realistically. So we're going to take a nice bead, and this is Easton Quick Bond Vein Adhesive from Easton Archery. It's also, you can purchase this at lancasterarchery.com, and we want to make sure we have a nice bead down the vein. You don't want it too much in there, you don't want it splooging out on the sides, but a nice steady bead from front to back. Okay. Try and get over here where you guys can see. We got a magnetized end here. I'm going to make sure we're seated in there nice and easy. And we're just going to push that vein right into place. And after about 30 seconds, you can unclip that and turn to the neck. So there's one vein, right helical, and we're just going to click over. What you can do too is, after you run that vein in there, if you have any leaking out, is just run your finger right down the edge of the vein. And after we're done with these, I'm going to show you how to dab the front and back just to keep them from lifting. Alright, so we're in the next position. I'll run one more. Clean up that vein just because I was touching it a little. Okay. clamp that one into place. And we'll move on to the next. One thing I will say is I am using a 3 Fletch, not a 4 Fletch, with the max hunter vanes. Some people choose a 4 Fletch, but I try and eliminate as much drag as possible because I do make a lot of long distance shots, and that drag will or can affect arrow flight and accuracy. These vanes on the 5mm FMJ, which is what I'm shooting this season, the 3 Fletch works great, even at long distance. Okay, last one. Okay, that one's done. One perfectly fletched 3 Fletch vane, or 3 fletched arrow, right helical. And we're going to take it one step further, and I'm show you how to dab the front and back of the arrow to give you a little more stability on a pass through. Okay, so we're about done, but real quickly I wanted to show you, because we want to take these builds a step further. There's our perfectly fletched 3 vane arrow with wraps. Again, the custom knock-on Max Hunter vanes made by AAE. But there's a type of glue that you can use to dab the back and the front of the vanes. Gives a little more support to the vane on a pass-through of an animal, or a blow through the target, whatever it is you're shooting at, just to stiffen up those vanes. I personally use a product that's called Hard as Hull. It's actually a fly head cement for fly fishermen, and I actually take that and I dab the front and I dab the back of the vane just to hold it into place and secure it. So let me show you how I do that quickly. Comes in a glass bottle with a brush head. Again, this is a fly head cement, and we're gonna dab in here on all 3 fletches, and that arrow is done. Now we're not going to shoot these for 24 hours. We're going to make sure they dry and set up nice and hard. But that's it. That's our custom wrapped vane with custom vanes. This is a Full Metal Jacket by Easton Archery. Only thing left that I have to do is I'm going to pull those nocks, and I'm going to insert my nocturnal lighted nocks, which is what we hunt with. Get a good weight on these, and we'll go out once they're dry, and we'll take some shots with them. Alright guys, that took a total of about 10 minutes. We got 6 arrows fletched and ready to go. They're dabbed front and back. Some people call that tipping and tailing. If you hear that term thrown around, that's usually what that means. But we got 6 good arrows here ready for more hunting, and yeah, that concludes my Fletch session. So if you got anything out of the video, if you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell on the left hand side, and you'll be alerted to new video uploads. I try to do 1 to 2 a month if possible, and yeah, if you like, subscribe, share. If you feel I missed anything, leave a comment down below, and yeah, help us to support bow hunting television and to keep bringing it to you in the future. Rock on.